Every single time you get dressed, you're actually part of a hidden story, a story of science. It's true. The clothes we wear, from our comfiest kurtas to our sharpest work shirts, they have a whole history woven right into their threads. Today, we're going to unravel that story together. So let me ask you this. Think about a super soft, flowy, viscose kurta. Now, picture a modern polyester cricket jersey, the kind that's tough and keeps you dry. They seem like they're from completely different worlds, right? Well, believe it or not, they share a secret identity that goes way beyond old school cotton or silk. The answer to that little puzzle is found in this whole other universe of materials that has totally reshaped our wardrobes. We're talking about man-made fibers. So we're going to step away from the farm and head straight into the lab to see how this all works. Okay, so here's our key term for today: man-made fibers. Simply put, these are fibers that we humans create using some pretty clever chemical processes. They don't just grow on a plant or come from an animal. But here's the most important part of that definition: not found in nature in their final form. And trust me, that one little detail makes all the difference. Now, here's where it gets really interesting. Not all man-made fibers are created equal. In fact, they fall into two big families. On one side, you have regenerated fibers, and on the other, you've got synthetic fibers. They might sound kind of similar, but their origin stories, completely different. So let's break them down, starting with the ones that stay a little closer to their natural roots. First up, we've got the regenerated fibers. And I love this title, Nature Reimagined, because it's the perfect way to think about them. This isn't about inventing something from scratch. It's a story of incredible transformation. This quote really gets to the heart of it. A regenerated fiber starts its life as something totally natural, usually cellulose from plants, like wood. But then, through some chemical magic, that natural stuff gets dissolved, reformed, and essentially reborn or regenerated as a brand new fiber. So the process is pretty wild. You start with something like wood pulp. You break it all down with chemicals, and then you restructure it into a fiber. What's amazing is that even though its physical form is completely different, its basic chemical building block, that cellulose, is still there. And this clever process is how we get those wonderfully soft and breathable fabrics like viscose and modal, absolutely perfect for a comfy kurta on a hot day. And this visual just lays it out so clearly. You take a natural source, like wood, you treat it with chemicals to make a thick, gooey liquid. Then you push that liquid through tiny little holes. That's called extrusion. And voila, new threads are formed. It's almost like nature provides the ingredients and science comes up with the recipe to make something totally new out of them. All right, let's switch gears completely. We're leaving the forest behind and we are heading straight into the laboratory. Welcome to the world of synthetic fibers. This isn't a story about reimagining nature. It's about creating something entirely new from the ground up. And that's the key right there. Unlike their regenerated cousins, synthetic fibers have no direct link to a natural fiber source. They are created entirely from chemical synthesis, literally built molecule by molecule in a lab. Yeah, their journey starts with petrochemicals, things derived from oil, coal, or natural gas. Through a bunch of chemical reactions, scientists create these artificial long-chain molecules called polymers. And the real magic here is that they can actually engineer the final product to have specific qualities, like the incredible strength of nylon or the durability and wrinkle resistance of polyester. That's why it's perfect for school uniforms, office wear, or, you guessed it, that cricket jersey we talked about at the beginning. So the synthetic journey starts in a totally different place, with petrochemicals. They go through something called polymerization to create these artificial molecules. And from there, the process looks a little familiar. The material is melted down and extruded to form a fiber. So same final step, but a completely different origin story. Okay, so we've met both families. We've got the nature reimagined regenerated fibers and the lab-born synthetic ones. Now let's put them side by side so we can make that key difference absolutely crystal clear. This table just sums it all up perfectly. Just look at the top row. Source. Natural versus artificial. That is the whole ballgame right there. For regenerated fibers like viscose, you're just taking a natural polymer and giving it a makeover. For synthetic fibers like polyester, you are creating an artificial polymer completely from scratch. So here's the bottom line. One modifies, the other invents. So after all that science, let's bring it right back home, to you and your wardrobe. Because all of this information is actually right there at your fingertips every single day. You might be thinking, okay, cool science lesson, but why does any of this actually matter when I'm just picking out a shirt? Well, it matters because every time you read a clothing label, this knowledge gives you the power to make a smarter choice. I mean it. That tiny little label tells you everything. It reveals the fabric's origin. Did it start its life in a forest or in an oil well? It gives you clues about its properties. Is it going to be soft and breathable like viscose or tough and durable like polyester? And of course, it tells you how to care for it so your favorite clothes last longer. It's all about making a conscious, informed choice. So I'll leave you with this challenge. The next time you grab something from your closet, just take a second to check the label. Now that you know the difference, you can see past the brand name and actually read the real story that's woven into the threads. So, what tale of science, nature, and innovation is your wardrobe telling you?